All right, so if you're holding Iraqi Dinar, you know what I'm talking about. You're just swimming in a sea of social media hype, right? Forum chatter, endless speculation, it's a lot. So in this explainer, we're going to cut straight through all that noise. I'm going to give you the clear, simple facts. What's real, what's just a rumor, and most importantly, what you actually need to know to protect your investment. Okay, let's dive right in. For every single person holding Dinar, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you separate a real, credible signal of progress from just another slick sales pitch, one that's designed to stir up hype or, even worse, to scam you right out of your money? Well, that's exactly what we are going to break down right now. Okay, first things first, we gotta get on the same page here. Let's just establish a simple factual baseline and figure out what a reevaluation actually is, completely separate from all that online chatter. So, here's the crucial point. A revaluation, or an RV, it's not some rumor that just magically comes true one day. No, it's an official, deliberate, top-down decision made by a country's central bank. Think of it as a formal government process, one that's backed by actual laws and procedures, not some viral event that just catches fire online. And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got the world of rumor, right? The exciting social media clips, those anonymous insiders on the forums, the blurry screenshots. It's loud, it's definitely hopeful, but it's completely unofficial. Then, on the other side, you have reality. Official central bank bulletins, actual government documents, real legal procedures. Yeah, it might be a little quiet, maybe even kind of boring, but trust me, it is the only side that actually matters. Okay, so now let's take this fact versus fiction filter we've just talked about and apply it to the piece of news that's causing all the excitement right now, the change in the budget rate. We're going to break down what this really means. So here's the verifiable fact. Plain and simple. A new official exchange rate was published inside the Iraqi federal budget documents. That is real. It happened. But the key, the absolute key to not getting swept up in all the hype is understanding its specific purpose. And this is where we really need to pay attention, because the distinction is critical. The budget rate, that's basically an internal accounting tool. It's what the government uses to plan its own spending. Think of it like a projection, an internal number. The market rate, on the other hand, that's the real-world value you and I would actually get at a bank. So, and this is the important part, a change in the budget rate does not automatically trigger a change in the market rate. It's a huge piece of the puzzle, for sure, but it's not the final move. So if the budget rate isn't the final trigger, then what is, right? Let's walk through the actual playbook for a genuine public revaluation. That way you'll know exactly what verifiable signs you should be looking for. Look, a real reevaluation isn't just going to happen overnight. It follows a very clear procedural path. You would see a formal public bulletin from the central bank announcing the new rate. Then banks would get their detailed instructions. After that, new laws or regulations would actually be published. Only then would the banks update their systems and tell you, the public, how to convert your currency. And it would all follow a clearly announced timeline. If these 5 things aren't in place, what you're seeing is almost certainly just speculation. Okay, knowing what to look for is half the battle, that's for sure. But what should you be doing right now to protect your assets and stay ahead of the game? Let's get into some direct, actionable advice you can use today. And I really want you to hear this because it's so important. I mean, many of you have been waiting on this for years, and that long wait, it creates this powerful emotional pull, right? All the hype and these sensational claims, they tap directly into that hope. But the people who are going to navigate this successfully, they are the ones who can take a deep breath, take a step back, separate that emotion from the cold, hard facts, and just verify everything before they make a move. So, here is your action plan. Simple stuff. First, make sure your holdings are secure and traceable in a legit institution. Second, get your news only from official channels. We're talking the Central Bank of Iraq, major financial news outlets, that's it. Third, get your personal documents ready to go right now. And finally, be patient. Seriously, real financial processes are structured, they're slow, they're methodical. They are never, ever instant. And on the flip side, here are the giant red flags to run from. Anyone, and I mean anyone, asking for upfront fees or processing charges is a scam, period. That high-pressure tactic, act now or miss out, that is a classic warning sign. And please, be deeply, deeply skeptical of guaranteed payouts, brand new exchange platforms that pop up out of nowhere, and any information that comes from some unnamed source or a screenshot you can't verify yourself.
All right, let's pull all of this together into one simple, powerful tool. Think of it as your final checklist, something you can use to reality check any piece of news you see from this day forward. This is it, your 5-point verification test. The next time you see some sensational headline, just run it through this list. Ask yourself, is there an official central bank bulletin? Are major banks putting clear procedures on their websites? Are reputable news outlets like Bloomberg or Reuters reporting the same facts? Can you find the actual verifiable documents, not just screenshots? And is there a concrete timeline with dates and steps? If the answer to any of these is no, you've got to treat that information with extreme caution. So, I'll leave you with this one final question. In this absolute flood of information, are you building a raft of facts to stay afloat, or are you just floating on hope? Because at the end of the day, the answer to that question is going to determine everything. Stay informed, and most of all, stay safe.